Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Chatting Ball. After a 3-week hiatus, we're
it's been a
back
long time.
finally.
Yeah,
Ahmed's fasting now.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Ramadan.
yeah, it's going alright. It's going good. Obviously, that's why football comes in. But obviously, to distract you, this is the best time for football in my period because honestly, when it's like Super Sunday, the day goes really quick, or Super Saturday, whatever you call it.
You've got something to do.
Monday Night Football. But of course, that was nearly taken away from me from this Super League that these millionaire moguls tried to invent overnight. And obviously, this is just going to be a European Super League special, whatever.
There's
rarely us to talk
it's the only bit of news that really anyone cares about, except Champions League reforms, which sort of tie in.
But it's kind of shaped how football was, because I was watching Man United v Burnley. A very boring game first half, give or take. We weren't really penetrating or anything like that. And I can't remember who the presenter was. I think it was is it David Jones?
Yeah.
David Jones, who says suddenly, and starts telling us about the Super League idea. And it sounds very, I don't know if the term's correct, NFL-ish.
It's
NFL,
very Americanized.
very, very Glazer found. Obviously, closed league. The top six. Obviously, I support a top six club. You support a club that's.
We support a club that's down there, but we're hoping we can get back.
Yeah.
I mean, if we relate it to Sunderland, who I'm a fan of, it's sort of. I know it'll probably never happen, but the hope that we can go there, do what Leicester did, win the league, have a great squad for even a couple of years, and we'll be a decent team, is sort of what football's all about for people like me, because we're never going to be a top six side. We're not that sort of club. So the idea that that it was not a meritocracy. This is a word I learned especially for this podcast.
Nice, did your research.
So the problem with it not being a meritocracy is that it just sort of, there's no way for anyone to go in and compete with these 15, I think it was 15, there was 12 that had said, have been announced, but there was going to be 15.
But when you look at the top six and their idea proposal, football changes. Football isn't fixed teams every year. You talk about, for example, these new teams creeping up. West Ham, Leicester, Villa even are now coming back onto it. But back before
people like Wolves. Southampton a couple of years ago.
Exactly, back before we were even born, the top six was teams like Nottingham Forest perhaps, and teams like that now obviously fall under. But again, to play devil's advocate, perhaps that's why they want to make this top six, the breakaway league, so they can keep their money, so they don't have this fear of relegation, because it's always a fear, because what makes the leagues is AC Milan can get relegated from Serie A, Real Madrid can get relegated from the league.
AC Milan have been relegated from Serie A, haven't they?
Incorrect.
For the Calciopoli scandal.
No, I think that was Juventus, wasn't it?
Oh, did Juve get relegated? But AC Milan got a big fine.
I think they did. And then obviously with us, the biggest team in the world, and my team I love, obviously I'm wearing an AC Milan shirt, but still, Man United, they could get relegated, and that's what makes it so interesting and so entertaining to watch. It's like people say, it's a sport, not a business. But obviously, when you have this idea, which I think they've been doing for a long time, however they executed it, I don't know who executed it.
I mean, whoever decided Sunday night 10:30, we're gonna say, no one's heard any rumours about it. We're gonna say on Sunday at 10:30 English time, obviously. If you're watching this in America, it might have been 5 o'clock in the afternoon. In which case, that's what I think it might have been for. But sort of announcing it then, in the way they announced it, we'll have 15 founder clubs that set up a website. Let's do it all perfectly. It was just an awful management by, I don't know who announced it. Florentino Perez.
Probably
he needs to face jail. Let's be honest with you.
He's really wanted this, because again, obviously we're Premier League fans and we're English football fans, and I wouldn't say the leagues are badly run in this country. I would say they're entertaining, they're very fun to watch, and they're organised in some sort of way that that even if you're someone like Bournemouth who was there for 2 or 3 seasons and you get relegated, you're going to be happy with what you receive, because obviously you've hit the promised land. But in other leagues, I don't think it's like that. I think, for example, in La Liga, if you look at some stats, Real Madrid, Atletico, Barca practically dominate the scene. The biggest 3 teams. And I'm not saying our top 6 don't, but with how we market it and how we do it, those teams get an equal share. And okay, I think the top 6 hate that, but it's how it's set up. But
I mean, I was watching a Tifo football video this week, and it basically said the reason Real Madrid and Barcelona are so behind it is because they can't compete financially with the Big Six, PSG, Bayern Munich anymore, because they're owned by their members, Real Madrid and Barcelona. And I think there's two other Spanish clubs that are Osasuna and I don't know who the other one is. But they're the only two teams still left in the competition. They're the only ones who haven't withdrawn from the ESL yet. And Florentino Perez seems to think it's still going ahead. He thinks it's still in the pipeline.
Well, he thinks they're going to have a tournament straight after the Euros. He thinks they're going to start.
He thinks it's going to be like a pre-season tournament, doesn't he?
I mean, maybe they might work something out where you see another level of the Premier League. So, say, for example, we have the European Super League, and they make the promotion and relegation there. But like you get relegated from European Super League 6.
See, I don't mind that. I don't mind promoting these top 6 sides, whatever. But then giving them the option that they come back down. Like the National League North and South works. Where the worst placed team from each league comes down, the best placed team from each league goes up. It just means that then the Premier League becomes the second division, which is. I know it's not great, but I'd like it a lot more, I can understand it a lot more.
If it went through, that'll probably be the best worst case scenario, something like that happening. But again, when it comes to how it's been done, again, no one's taking. I think Perez is kind of saying, "Hey, it was me," but even then, I don't think he's going. No, it's that guy. No, it wasn't me. It was him. And when you see the club statements, and someone analysed it on Twitter, they all read the same. You know. Liverpool have a club statement signed with John Glazer on it. You know, the owner of Manchester United, the team they hate and absolutely can't stand.
And like everyone had the same quote from John Glazer on their like statement. And the only team to actually apologise is Arsenal so far. We haven't seen an official apology from Liverpool.
There's the owner.
We've seen the owner of Liverpool.
And
John Henry.
And almost it was like someone was holding a script telling him to read it up.
Oh, I mean, you can see it in his glasses.
Because he's just like, oh, the fans. We should have consulted the fans. And I don't know what they were thinking of, because again, like I had this point made by Rory Jennings. I don't think the kickoff. I don't think the kickoff watch this, but they might do if they are true.
If they do, get at us.
Right, comments.
We're more than happy to make a nice little appearance.
So when you saw it, there was that he made that comment that he pays, I think, £900 for his season ticket at Chelsea, which is a lot of money if you think about it. But that's all he spends. You don't buy a shirt for that season. He don't buy any merchandise.
Don't buy any extra tickets.
So again, that's. Okay, you're getting £900.
And maybe you go and spend a tenner on a pint and a hot dog at the match.
But again, that's not going to the clubs. So if you make this closed league where you can say Juventus play Chelsea in Qatar, you know, you're going to have people just spending tons of money. And you can charge people wherever you want.
I mean, clubs have realised that season ticket holders don't bring in as much money as non-season ticket holders.
Of course.
If you sell out your stadium every week, and half of it's season ticket holders, you make so much less money than if you sell out your stadium every week and none of it is season ticket holders.
Of course.
So that's the idea, I think, is they can have a game in New York. They can have Chelsea Real Madrid in New York, and they will sell out the stadium, £100 a ticket, and they make, what's that, 60,000 times 100? 60 million in one game.
I think people forget there was obviously, you know, to look at the NFL-ish. The NFL have the London games, and obviously I'm an NFL fan and I love that. But I mean, I can see it happening next season probably. Like, for instance, I think in 2012, 2013, I don't know if it was a friendly or not, but I think it was a real-life Premier League game that got cancelled for something. Chelsea and Man City did play each other in New York. And it made a lot of money. I think it was
a ridiculous amount of money,
most revenue gained on a match day that whole season. Because obviously they're playing abroad, it's a tourist site, they could charge whatever they wanted, match day sales, where have you? And I think now maybe they went, hey, why don't we just do this as a league? And I think the fact that some teams considered, I mean, Man United, I love us, but I don't think, you know, again, considered that if we join that, I think it'll just destroy everything. We're on the cusp of something good, and it'll just be destroyed.
I mean, it destroys every bit of history any club's ever got.
Exactly.
So, like Real Madrid, they've got loads and loads of history. Like, I don't particularly like them.
Yeah.
I don't like Florentino Perez. I don't like the Galacticos model of buying players.
Yeah.
But they've got that history. They've won 13 European Cups. They're probably one of the biggest sides that sports teams ever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's always Man United and Real Madrid battling for number 1, number 2.
Exactly. And it's like, Florentino Perez was willing to throw that away. Throw away all the supporters' history, everything that supporters loved about Real Madrid for £350 million a season. Yes, it's loads of money, but it's because Real Madrid can't afford to sign Mbappe, Haaland. I mean, Haaland's wage demands are outrageous. I don't know if you've seen them. It's something like 600 grand a week, which is mental. 21. So he'd only want more when he gets older. But it's just like Messi's on. I think Messi's on 550.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the highest paid player is still Neymar, isn't it? PSG.
It might be. I don't know.
But again, speaking of Haaland, speaking of Neymar, the German clubs, for instance, it made me laugh. Like, because they were just like, no, 50+1 fans rule, brilliant. It worked amazing there because the fans were like, hey, do you want this stupid idea? No, you don't. Okay, you don't want this stupid idea. We won't do the stupid idea. Whereas us in England, we're just like, okay, we're doing this stupid idea. Everyone involved in this stupid idea, and they just did it. And then,
well, it's because people like Daniel Levy, John Henry, Joe Glazers have 90% of the vote at Man United, at Liverpool, at Spurs, at whatever, and it's. Like Abramovich and Sheikh Mansour don't need 350 million. No. They're rich enough. Sheikh Mansour will never run out of money. Yeah. He's literally, he makes money faster than he spends it. Yeah. So Man City were the last to join, I think. Yeah. I think that was reported by The Athletic. And
I think they were the first to leave as well.
And I think Chelsea were the first to leave because of the protests outside the stadium. But I think Man City had already set into motion them leaving. But Man City would have lost every single one of their fans because Man City aren't a massive club internationally. No,
they're not Man United.
Manchester, it's probably half and half split in Manchester.
I think if you
in England, Man United are massive. It's so much bigger than Man City. Worldwide, Man City are barely there at all. Yeah,
exactly. So they're still growing in that
Man City losing. They seem to have realised that they didn't want to get left behind, and they would have lost all of their fans if they'd gone up to this Super League. And yes, they were called legacy fans. I've seen in a couple of documents,
which is so insulting.
It's really insulting.
It's almost like you date a girl you really like, and then she breaks up with you and goes, "Oh, you're my legacy boyfriend," and then gets married.
Oh, I just used you for my confidence.
It's like what the.
Yeah,
that's just.
I know.
And then you see it a lot in football and everything like that, and I really do hate that term legacy. It was almost like it was pandering, like I mean, I've been a Man United fan all my life. Again, wearing an AC Milan shirt, which doesn't help. But you've been to games all home and away. You've loved the team throughout. You've been through the horrible Moisey era, the 6-1 era. You've seen us lift a lot of trophies. And I agree with Guy Neville. Take it all away from them if they want to join a stupid European Super League.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
What do you reckon is a suitable punishment for each of these sides? Because I honestly think -30, maybe -40 points each this season and next season.
Start with a point deduction.
And £200 million fine each.
I mean,
invest that's nearly that'd be £1 billion. Yeah. Ready to be reinvested straight away in grassroots football, grassroots sport, women's football. Yeah. Everything in just take it off them by the FA. I
think the fines is a suitable decision. However, from what I've seen, again, I think it's just weird because it's almost like they're acting in two separate identities now. You have Manchester United Football Club and Manchester United the business. The business side really wanted that. The football club, from what Luke Shaw posted, from what Bruno Fernandes posted, from what Rashford posted, from what everyone in the team plus
even like Brandon Williams, yes, he made that.
It's a
Liverpool parade, but he did then post the Man United parade, and the message is the same.
Yeah, same. The football is nothing without the fans, and if he just suddenly, if the players were all behind it, then they just have to be punished. But I think a point deduction obviously would be hard to carry out because again, the Premier League wants to motivate these guys to stay.
Yeah.
It doesn't really want them to go. But I agree with the fines, because then the fines can be dealt with FIFA and UEFA.
Yeah.
That's where their decision comes in. But again, for me, you talk about clubs doing that. Again, like when I just said with the German clubs, I'm really surprised PSG weren't there. I was so surprised.
See, PSG had another motive though. Because PSG are owned by Qatar, PSG can't separate from FIFA.
Really?
Because Qatar have the next World Cup.
I did not know that.
So, the reason PSG would have gone
Yeah.
if they weren't owned by Qatari sports investments who have invested so much in the World Cup. They need the World Cup to repay their investment. So they have PSG to repay their investment, but they also need the World Cup to repay their investment.
Wow, that's put down on things.
After the Qatar World Cup, PSG and this Super League had gone ahead, PSG probably would have joined.
That's crazy.
After all their players had played at this World Cup, Neymar and Mbappe in the final, they could have sold it as this massive. Whilst none of the world's best, rest of the world's best players can play, they'd have probably rigged it so that Neymar plays Mbappe.
Yeah, that'd be mad.
In the 2022 World Cup.
So they've suspended the Champions League, is that correct?
No, they were going to, but I don't think they actually have.
So
they're thinking about it still. Yeah,
because now it's just got a really sour taste with it. It's like if your mate was dating a girl and you knew that she cheated on him, and they're still together and stuff like that, and you're watching it at the wedding going, she had an affair for 2 years. You know what I mean? It's like one of them ones. This is a really sour taste now, because they don't really want to, like, for me, the people behind the club make the club as well, and if they don't want to be a part of it, then it's a bit of a shame. And now, obviously, the new Champions League structure being pointed out, where I think 2 teams get invited. Is it 2 teams?
I'm not sure. I've not looked properly into it. But this whole idea of extra spots for elite teams who fail to qualify blows my mind. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really see how it's any different to a Super League. I don't like the league format. I think it should. I don't actually like the groups at the moment. I think it should be straight knockouts. But teams like Man United aren't going to be all right now, because there's a chance you come up against someone who will just tear you apart. But I'm alright with more teams. I just hate the league bit and the extra spots.
And again, there are clubs that are big but have missed out on Champions League now for several years. AC Milan's one of them. Hence why I'm wearing this, because again, AC Milan, if you follow any of their social medias, very Americanized, because Rock Nation Sports does their Insta, does their Twitter, does their everything. And you can see they're trying to go for this like new vintage look, like, hey, we're AC Milan, we're so cool. And it's like, hey, I know we lost. I know we lost today, but look how good Rebic looked. It's like, okay, and it's kind of doing like that. It's very, you can tell it's very Americanized, like I said.
It's subtle, forced advertising. Because you know when you know on like Instagram, you can click on a thing and you can see who's in it, and you can also go to like Instagram shopping now. AC Milan all the time
do that. It's so annoying.
Picture of Zlatan, let's say, after he scored a goal in a 4-1
loss. And it's like Bayern jersey.
Zlatan 9 jersey.
And now
€84.
He's talking about euros now. They've actually localized it now. Where it's actually in pounds now.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
So again, they're doing that, and I think that's the future. I think I've seen a lot of clubs do it now. I think Man United are probably Real Madrid are the first ones to do it, and it's all copying each other now. But when you look at how AC Milan wanted, there was actually a split, because again, I follow some AC Milan fans on Twitter and stuff like that. There were some fans who wanted it. There were some fans who were sick and tired of participating in a competition where in the Serie A it's either Juve, Inter now I think will be the first team to win it in like 6 seasons that isn't Juve. So you talk about like one horse, like it would become one horse race with like probably Real Madrid and Barca fighting out, and then you have probably your teams like Arsenal and Spurs at the bottom. I don't think that'd be the case. It depends how it works, because again, I don't know how transfers would work in European Super League.
I don't think they could make that the case, simply for the fact that it's meant to be the best teams playing the best teams. No one wants to play for the Arsenal who can't get relegated but lose every game for the season.
Exactly.
So, but they legally can't leave this league, so they come bottom, lose every game all season. No players want to play for that. So I feel like eventually it'd just become they'd end up having like a draft.
And that's what I'm worried
Everyone
about.
who's interested in one player pays £50 million, and they all get this player, and then first round pick.
But then again, what would that do to youth academy? How would that help?
It wouldn't help at all. It would ruin football in the long term.
Exactly.
But it would benefit the league for 5 years. Let's say people like Jadon Sancho, who plays for Borussia Dortmund, wouldn't be in this Super League straight away. No. But all the Super League teams are chasing. And if he's offered twice the money, he'd be an idiot not to take it. Like, that's the thing. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, greed." Yeah. If it were me, I would never put my team into it. But every single Premier League club owner would have gone into the ESL with if they'd have been brought into it. Yeah. People like Mike Ashley. Yeah, exactly. £350 million for him, he can go and buy another Debenhams off the high street. That's good analogy, that was. Sullivan and Gold. Yeah. They chase money for anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one thing that's kind of annoyed me about this whole thing. I mean, I think it's hypocritical because, again, it's like, I'm going to use an analogy. It's like everyone's been invited to a super cool party, right? It's a super cool party at school, but only 6 of your friends have been invited. The other 6 haven't. So the other 6 are going to be like, "Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's going to be a dead party. Why are you going? It's going to be dead. I'm going to stay inside and I'll do something else." It's kind of like that when I read club statements. Like when I read Everton's, right?
Everton would jump at the chance to go into that.
Everton would jump. And I get it. I'm really happy about it. And then I read West Ham's. And then I think I read... who was it? I think I've read some other clubs. I think Palace as well. Like Steve Parrish was on and he was talking. And I get it. I kind of have this weird relationship with Steve Parrish because I think, his stuff he does at Palace, fair play to him. But of course, if anyone offers you that amount of money, you want to go. And then it comes back to this thing where obviously Sky had that passionate run from Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, BT had Rio Ferdinand, Robbie Savage. I think Owen Hargreaves got in a bit, and that was great to see ex-players, because I thought we were going to get like a face behind it. I thought Figo was going to come out like, "Hey, European Super League, it's sexy," but there was
that was a problem with the announcement. Yeah. There was no rumours leading up to it. No. There seemed to be no planning. No. If they'd have signed, say, R9 Ronaldo, and said he's going to be the face of the Super League,
he's just there announcing every
because he played for pretty much every team that's in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, if you make him the face, put some adverts in your primetime TV, and now sit for 10 years down the line, and get advertising it now, get it in the rumours now, get it in the papers now.
Exactly. And then when you see it, like when you see it structured and stuff like that, I sometimes think it was a bit stupid, it was a bit daft that they thought it would be a great idea to just suddenly announce it, and then without having someone behind it like a player and stuff like that. But then going back to what I said about Guy Neville, Rio Ferdinand and all that. My point I wanted to make is like, what if they made a deal with Sky and BT like, "Hey, we'll give you the games." Yeah. I wonder how different it would have been, because again, it's a business at the end of the day. Sky obviously pay a lot, BT pay a lot for Premier League matches, and they don't, no disrespect to any other team that participates, they don't pay a lot for.
They don't pay a lot for the Burnley versus Stoke on a Wednesday night.
No, or like it's that 6, the golden 6. Yeah. That has that huge fan base.
Well, which is why I can't see them being punished. I'd like to see the FA or the Premier League give them £100 million fine each, and invest that back down the football leagues, back down the pyramid, into areas that WDSportz. You'd see some benefit, rather than just bailing people out and sort of sticking it in the back pockets, giving the chief exec a big bonus. Like I think it's Richard Masters at the Premier League. If he gets a massive bonus, in my mind, he's failed as well and needs to go.
True. I mean, the Premier League, again, like, I was watching this interview with all, like, I don't know how bad it was run, I think 3 or 4 seasons ago, when obviously the limelight was Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City. They were dominating the TV, like, there was rarely other games, so they got criticised for that. And then he said confidently, like, where else are you going to get where else are you going to watch football? You're going to come here.
I mean, they hold the monopoly over it.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Now, maybe you'll see a restructure of the Premier League. I saw on Twitter today, which is quite interesting, they want to change it from the English Premier League to the British Premier League. So include Celtic, Rangers, and any team in Wales that isn't in the league just yet.
But the problem with that is Celtic and Rangers don't want to be anywhere near the Premier League. Exactly. Scottish football is Scottish football. Celtic and Rangers fans are... and probably like Aberdeen. I don't know any Aberdeen fans because there aren't any. But they all want to keep it Scottish football.
Exactly.
Teams like St Johnstone go off the map straight away. They've not got enough fans, not enough revenue, not enough
travel money for travel, stuff
they're
like that.
Not big enough name. No. Like they'd probably say that the squad right now is probably lower end of League One.
I don't know how you do it as well, because again there'll be people who like which team do you put in the Premier League? Do you start them right at the bottom? So again, it's again like
you'd
that.
have to seed it, and it'd be Celtic and Rangers in the top. Then you probably have your Hearts, your Aberdeens, your Motherwells in the Championship, and then probably everyone else is League One level. But you can't just fill League One with Scottish teams.
No, you can't, and that's the problem. I think the more we grow into this football industry, the more we grow into this football environment where everyone wants to make as much money as they can. They don't want these top six now, especially the American owners. I think personally want this NFL type style.
Yeah, and the Americans want a franchise football. Don't they?
And they want some version of Super Bowl. You know. What I mean?
They would love a Super Bowl. Yeah, or they'd kill for a Super Bowl.
I don't know what they're going to call it. The Super Cup,
the Soccer Bowl.
Yeah, or something like that.
Stupid.
And that's what they want. And they want that. They want that fact that you only play probably like 16 games, give or take, but you play them in different areas of the world.
You don't play the same teams every year because you've got too many teams.
Yeah.
They can sell a license to someone like a Paris FC who can combat Paris Saint-Germain with the money. Yeah. Make Paris FC into a brand like Paris Saint-Germain and there you are. You don't need PSG anymore. You've got your Paris team. Yeah,
speaking of which, when you're talking about licensing and branding, imagine what it would do to FIFA, because apparently FIFA don't have the rights for this European Super League.
What, the video game?
Yeah. Obviously, what will we have? Will we have European Super League make their own FIFA game?
Exactly.
And what would you buy? Your Ultimate Team would be terrible.
I know, no Liverpool, no Man City, no United.
Well, there would be, but I imagine it'd be like Man Red, Man Blue, Merseyside Red.
Yeah, they'd have to pay players individual licenses.
Yeah, which would be crazy. And again, I think this is I think one of the points I want to make. It's not going to go away. I think people feel like
it'll come back in 5 years.
Yeah, we've won the battle, but we haven't won the war just yet. I think slowly they'll do it. I think in the summer after the Euros, there'll be a European Super competition where
pre-season tournament.
Where everyone will be invited to play, because again,
it just so happens that these 12 teams will get the invite.
Yeah. I mean, they did that with the International Champions Cup, didn't they? Where it was I can't remember his name. But all I remember is when we watched it, because MeTV put it on for free, which was really nice of them. So we watched it, and you had Ronald McDonald leading out Man United and Real Madrid, which was weird. But I think that's their future. I think that's what they want.
I mean, stuff like, we're going to take a break at this corner to show you an advert. Here's a Starbucks advert.
Yeah,
exactly. It's going to become more and more commercialised.
Yeah.
They go to VAR, that means we've got time for a break.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there'd be no half-time coverage, there'd be no half-time discussions.
I mean, I think the punditry would be very basic. I think it would be very, very, that everyone at home can get behind. I think they'll do some, stuff, for example, when I watch NFL, I think the pundits usually just, play around or something, they have a challenge, the Toyota throwing challenge, and you can see that.
I don't know if you watched the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight. I watched the highlights because I'm so glad I didn't watch it, stay up for it, because it was at 1 a.m. and it lasted one round. But the commentators on that were Snoop Dogg, Pete Davidson, and some other celebrity that was nothing to do with boxing.
So experts of the field.
Exactly. And they had the D'Amelio sisters on.
The TikTokers?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
In the undercard, in between two fights somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's we don't want to see that in football.
No.
I don't want to see a person sing at half-time.
No.
The only half-time entertainment I would like is to be able to go to the toilet. One of your mates goes and gets in the queue. You go and have a beer.
And then you go back in the stand.
The rest of you go to the toilet.
Yeah.
You go. You drink your beer.
Yeah.
You have a discussion. You watch Sky Sports on the little TV screen in the corner. Yeah. You see that Newcastle are losing. Everyone cheers. Whee! And then you go back in with your sausage roll or your hot dog.
And that's what you want. And I think it's going to be so sad because, again, for instance, I know a lot of fans who've gone to international games in Boston and stuff like that where Man United played. And from what they've told me, it's different kettle of fish altogether. And obviously they spend probably $400, $500, $600 on a match day.
Yeah. It's a one-off thing for them.
Yeah, me and you I spend probably when I get my ticket, £35.
I think the last match day I went to cost me £25 total. That was train down.
Yeah. And mine was £35 for the ticket. I paid for the tram, which was £2.20. I ate before I went. So, you know, I didn't give anything like that. I didn't buy a match day. I've already got my shirt from Sports Direct.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not giving anything to the club directly. So, from an owner point of view,
you're the sort of person they want to be like, you're the sort of person they want to sell the TV pass to.
Yeah.
The virtual ticket, which it's going to be a thing. I'm sure it is.
It's going to be like the NBA Game Pass, where hey, who do you support? You support Man United. There's Man United games. $400. And then it's gonna be that thing again. What it comes back to, like, where else am I going to watch it if I want to carry on supporting Man United? And I think it'll be interesting to see, because I think a lot of British fans will, if it goes through at any time, will turn on their clubs. They'll turn on it, so probably hopefully support locals and stuff like that. But the international fans, I think they'll grow to love it. And even then, like, someone made a good point to me the other day. If nothing's on, you're gonna watch it. Yeah. So they're still gonna get a little bit of that off you.
I'd love to say, oh yeah, I'd boycott it if this European Super League did happen. Yeah. Would I boycott it? Probably not. No. Say I'm sit there on a Sunday. I've been out on the Saturday night, like we normally do. Yeah. Sit there, I lean back. I'm like, oh, you're right, boys. We get a takeaway later tonight. Yeah. Everyone sits there. We sit there for. Well, we've done it before, where we sat there for hours. Yeah. We've sat there the entire day. I come round at midday and then I leave at 9 o'clock.
Exactly. And the last point I want to make, because obviously conscious of the time.
We don't want our ESL rant to go too long. But again, what footballers have, I'm glad that footballers have stood up. I'm glad that as teams have stood up. But what we need now is more action from two organisations. That's the Premier League. We need the Premier League to make sure that these clubs will be punished effectively and severely, and making sure that these leagues don't try and do it again. We need them to make sure that there is some sort of placement in order that they can't just run off at any point. And UEFA need to look at themselves now and think, maybe we need to be ran better. You know, maybe we need to have better organisation, better leadership. Although I think the one thing we can't fault about UEFA is Cheferin. I don't know if Alexander Cheferin, the president of UEFA. He is on it. Yeah. He hated the idea. I'm not sure if he hated the idea out of principle or if he hated the idea because he works for UEFA. Yeah. But he was very vocal about it, and he's probably one of the only people who's come out of this looking good. Yeah. Like the group fans, proper fans, legacy fans. Yeah. And probably him are the only people who've come out of it looking good. Maybe Leicester's owners. Yeah. I can't say his last name. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're the only fans. They're the only owners I could see in the Premier League refusing this £350 million season.
I mean, Mike Ashley would probably say yes before the guys even finish the sentence. Yeah. Again, that's what I wanted to leave on. Anything from you?
No. Just make sure you comment down below what you think would be a suitable, reasonable punishment for these breakaway clubs. What did you think of the ESL when you first heard it? And if we've got anyone who was for the ESL, please let us know why in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll be back next week for another discussion.
Hopefully we'll be talking about something more positive, maybe.
Hopefully next week, Marcus Rashford's done something good.
Yeah. Or we could talk about something more happy.
Oh, the Glazers have sold Man United. That's what we want next week. Yeah. So, get on Twitter, shout at the Glazers, and see you next week. Cheers.
See you.